I don't even believe that Michigan should be able to call Ohio State rivals right now. I'll say it. I do not believe that Tennessee should be able to call Alabama rivals. When you get your ass kicked every year and you have no chance to win, now think about this for a minute. In the last 15 years, Ohio State is 14-1 against Michigan. Do you know the only win that Michigan has in the last 15 years? It's over Luke Fickell by 6 points in Ann Arbor. In the last 15 years, Michigan has only beaten Ohio State one time, 40-34, and they did it against an interim coach. That's the only win Michigan has over Ohio State. That's not a rivalry. Is Maryland-Michigan a rivalry? No, it's just a game that gets played. Maryland has beaten Michigan one time in the last 8 years. We would never say, oh, I love that Terrapin and that Wolverine rivalry. Michigan-Ohio State is not a rivalry. It's not the game. It's just a game. Because Ohio State owns Michigan right now, and there's nothing that Michigan can do about it. And Jim Harbaugh is not close to winning a championship because he got exposed by Ohio State, but if he had not gotten exposed by Ohio State, he would have gotten exposed by Alabama, by Clemson, by Oklahoma, by Georgia. All four of those teams have just as good of offenses as Ohio State does, and they would have done to Michigan just what Ohio State did. Michigan is not close to championship caliber. Jim Harbaugh's team is slow. They were flat-footed. They had absolutely no ability to compete when it came to the athletes that Ohio State trotted out on the field. It reminded me back in the day of how slow the Big Ten used to be compared to the SEC. And that is my statement. I take back all my criticism of Ohio State related to their performance this year. When you hang 62 on Michigan in a game where you are the underdog and you beat their ass as soundly as you did, I have to rescind all my criticism. You won the Big Ten East. Jim Harbaugh 0 for 4 against Urban Meyer, 2 for 6 overall in his big games. And the only real rival that Michigan has right now is Michigan State, because occasionally you beat Michigan State. You do not beat Ohio State. You can't call it a rivalry until you actually beat them. You don't get to sit around and argue, well, back in the 90s, we were really good. Or back in the 1980s. Sooner or later, if you want to call a game a rivalry, your side has to win. Beating Luke Fickell once in the last 15 years when he was an interim by 6 points does not a rivalry make it. Okay? That is my analysis of Michigan against Ohio State.